Trying to do this. Wonderful. So, you remember I told you that I'm going to be doing something super simple today? We're basically just going to look at some pictures. And with those pictures, I'm going to teach you ancient Hebrew. In 2 minutes, you're going to be able to read and understand ancient Hebrew. So wait, you're going to get this sign. You're going to get this sign. You're going to get this sign. Yeah, you're holding it up the right way. Perfect. So the only thing that I need to really tell you to learn ancient Hebrew right now is which way to read it. Does anybody know which way to read Hebrew?
Right to left.
Right to left. Did you say backwards?
Yes.
It's not backwards. Hebrew was first. What does that tell you about English? So as soon as you know that, that's basically the only complicated thing that we have to remember today, because we're so used to left to right. So today we're going to start from right to left. Okay, so if you don't see the signs, just you can hold them up and turn them for everyone to see. They look like ancient signs, right? We don't know what these mean.
This is a P.
So I'm gonna show you the best trick how to understand ancient Hebrew, right? So we're gonna do this. We're just gonna turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it, and then you guys can tell me. Sorry, you guys can tell me what those letters are. Can you read it? A, B, C, D, E. Now, I'm not making this up. This is what the letters looked like in ancient Hebrew. It's called Phoenician, the Phoenician alphabet. Some call it Paleo Hebrew. It depends on which century you're looking at. Like, this is basically the letters that David and Moses would be able to read and understand. This is what it looked like for them. Not what we know, the modern Hebrew today, but this is the ancient Hebrew, which is where we get our alphabet from. So, how hard was that? Now you can read ancient Hebrew. And the next thing that you have to know is that it's not only a sound, like A, B, C, what we do in English, but it's also a picture. This here, if you turn it the way that it was written, looks like the head of an ox, if you've noticed. It's like the nose and the ears and the horns. So that is basically what you have to know in Hebrew, that it does both. Every other language chooses if they are going to talk with pictures, like Chinese, and in English we do the other one, we do sounds. So every language chooses how to write their language. They choose pictures or they choose sounds. Hebrew does what no other language does. It combines it, and it actually uses the pictures, an oxen, a house, a tent, or an open hand, or a door, or a guy standing up with his arms. So that it's a picture, but it also is a sound. So it combines two things. So now that you see the first two, let's just combine the one that we said was A and the one that we said is B. So if you just put these together, what sound could it make? Ab or Av, right? So you already know that word. From Abraham, Abba, what does it mean? Father. I didn't teach you anything. You guys just read out ancient Hebrew and you told me what it means in like 2 minutes. You're reading and understanding ancient Hebrew. Isn't that amazing? So, what changed though? Why don't we see the same thing in modern Hebrew today? It's because in the time of the exile in Babylon, they took on the different script from the Aramaic people around them that were using Aramaic letters that were like nice and neat and square shaped. And in their time in Babylon, they started to adopt their letters and changed how to write Hebrew. So in the modern Hebrew that we see today, in the Bibles that we found like in the later times, like after the exile, like 300 BC, the Hebrew that we see today, that we work with, the scholars read, it's actually the confused version of the pictures. And what I find interesting, if you think about what God actually does in the New Testament when he reveals himself, he uses metaphors and stories and pictures. The God of the Old Testament, when he wrote the Bible, when he gave it to Moses, when it was created and written, the Old Testament, he used pictures. It's the same God. And it also was using pictures. It's I like the verse in Proverbs 25 verse 2, where it says, "It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but it is the honor of kings." Who are we? We're the kings and the sons and daughters of a king. It is the honor of kings to search out a matter. So I don't think that is very far-fetched to actually ask a question like, why did God choose these letters to write his Bible in? And what does it mean? He tells us, he conceals things that he wants us to search out. It's not just like me going out on a treasure hunt that he didn't tell me to go. It's a treasure hunt that is very obviously there. And you can see, like the ox, for example, I'll show you how obvious it is. An oxen stands for what? Strength. Good job. A house stands for a house. It's not so difficult. So since we know now what Av means, father, so what is every father called to do or to be? He is the strength of the house. He's the first, Aleph and the Omega. You've heard that saying, the Aleph and Omega, the first and the last. So the oxen is the first to lead the way. So the first of the house, the head of the house, and the strength of the house. And so, as you can see, there is something hidden in the pictures. It tells you the word, how to pronounce it. It tells you to say the sound of, but it also tells you the meaning of the word. That the father of, the father is the strength, the leader, the first, the head of his house, of his family. So that is just to give you a foundation for what we're going to be doing when we look at God's name today, to show you the letters have a meaning and they are a sound. So we just talked about Yahweh is how we think that it sounds a little bit like what God intended his name to maybe sound like, but we for sure know the letters that he used. In Israel, they don't actually pronounce his name because it's too holy. Sorry, but they do write the name in the Bible. And when they write the name, it's so holy that old scholars used to have a new pen every time they write the name of God, because they can't use it for other words. It has to be a new pen for the name of God. And so they're well aware in Israel today and in any time what the letters of his name are. So we're going to be looking at these letters that I brought with me in just a minute. But I'm also going to show you something about the language Hebrew to give you a foundation for what when we look at God's name. Anybody know what Hebrew means in Hebrew? Well, how do you say it in Hebrew? You might know. Ivrit. That's how you say Hebrew. Ivrit. Ivrit means Hebrew. So we're gonna be actually. I'm feeling today more actually just look at the name of God. I already gave you the introduction with the letters. I will do the Hebrew maybe another time. Let's just go right to the name. Yud. Hey. You've probably heard these letters before, right? Yud Hey. Vav Hey. All right. Oh, sorry. Now that I'm not doing Ivrit, I just need 4 people. But I hope you like your seat. You like it. Good faces on camera. Love it. Okay. So for this one, I'm actually going to need another little symbol here. So you guys have probably seen these letters before. This is what they look like in modern Hebrew. Now that we've talked about that, that's basically the confused version of it. Just fun fact, Babylon comes from Babel, which means to confuse. In German, we still use Babel, which means to brabble. You still hear it in English, brabble, 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 babble, babble, Babylon. It's the place of confusion. And even the tower and the language got confused. So before Babel, before the confusion, we were able to see the pictures God intended. This here, what you're seeing today, is past confusion, past Babylon. So I'm gonna have you guys flip one page open to show what it looked like before the confusion, before Babylon. So you're gonna just open one and then make sure that you hold this so it doesn't just open by itself. Perfect. Here, there you go. And now the green ones show you what it's supposed to look like. The green letters are what God used when he wrote the Bible. This here, Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey. Now, just to help you guys out, I'm gonna have these volunteers stand up and show us what these things are. So I'm going to have Gary stand up with a hand open like that to show us what Yud means. Yud is a hand, and it kind of looks like a hand like this, like an arm holding. So you see his arm and then his hand, that is the Yud, what it used to be. And in modern Hebrew, still today, and in the Bible, Yad means hand. The Hebrew word Yad is hand. So Yud and Yad, actually, the letter is called hand. So if I were to talk about this letter in my language, I would say not Yud, I would say hand. That's what the letter is called. Next letter, if you stand up and help me to just understand what this is meaning, it actually is a guy lifting both hands up like this, pointing at something. So in this case, you're just going to be pointing at him because he came first.
Can I ask something? You have to turn his dress down here so we can see it.
Yes, can you show the folks on this side? Thanks. And then, perfect. Very good. So we have a hand so far, and now we have a guy pointing at that hand. Next, we have the letter Vav. Now I brought something from my baby's toy box. Don't ask me why there is this nail in his toy box. But it's a big nail. So this is what Vav means. Vav means nail. And the letter used to symbolize a nail. If you can show the people on this side just to make sure that they see what it looked like. On the green paper, it is what it looked like. And the nail to hold it up and show you guys the symbol it means, Vav. And if you read the biblical text, it also means nail. Like when you have a tent peg, the word for tent peg is Vav. And then we have the second thing. That's easy. We already had that. Perfect. We have the twins. For the two guys pointing. Can you believe it? I did not plan this. I promise. Oh my goodness. This is the same letter and the same person, basically. So you're gonna be pointing at the nail. There's the nail. Okay, so let's just show ourselves what that means. This is the name of God. Show your hand. Show your hand. Now point at the hand. Point at the hand. And now show the nail. Now point at the nail. Okay, so you're holding the letters, but you're also doing what the word means. Woo! Good job. Thank you, guys. If you want to sit back down again, so now that we've all seen the word played out with our voluntold people. So without me having to even pronounce the name or having to guess at how to say it, or the modern people in Israel now not pronouncing the name, they don't have to pronounce it. They just have to look at it. They just have to look at what the name looks like. And to just be more clear, obviously we've said it, the hand stands for a person that has an arm stretched out that makes it his. It speaks for his person. So the Yud in Yahweh, oftentimes, even in modern Hebrew today, especially in Old Hebrew, like we always look at the biblical one, it makes it yours. If you put a hand on any word, shulchan is called table. If you say shulchani with Yud, it's your table. Like if I speak Hebrew, I would say ben, a son, and if I say bni, it's my son, because I put my hand on it. I took it. So the hand makes it yours. It speaks of you, of your person. It makes it yours. And everything that ends with yud is your person. Ani is my person. Li means to me. Elai means towards me. So everything be in me. Everything that is yud, it makes it yours, or it speaks of your own person. So that is what the letter yud means. It's a hand. It stands for mine, or me, myself. The letter hey, as we have already shown, it's a person that stands up, that says, look, he's pointing at this. Look at that, behold. And it can stand for just an article like the. It says the. If I say shulchan, table, I say ha shulchan. Now I'm pointing at the table. That's just how Hebrew works. It means the table, the person. Ben, son, ha ben, the son. I'm always with the hey, the letter hey. If I put it anywhere, it means this. So it means the, or it can mean to reveal it, to say, look, hey, ha. So next letter, vav, as we already said, it's a nail, and it means to secure. if you think about the job of a nail, it secures things and it makes it stable. So it's not movable, it's not changeable. Hopefully, if you put the tent in right, it's not movable when the wind comes. We've all been there camping and we don't put the nails in right. And then the job of a nail is to secure the tent in place and to secure anything together, to combine it, to connect it, make it secure. And that's also how it's used in modern Hebrew. If you look at the job of the letter Vav in the language, it combines things. It says and. That's what it means. Vav means and. Shulchan, the table, ve, and ben, the sun. Shulchan ve, ben. It makes it combined, the table and the sun. So the Vav is the word and, like what we say, me and you. If I put a nail between us, now that's me and you. So it combines it. That's how you use the letter Vav. And then we've had this one before. I love the twins. Yeah. Same, we've had that one. So hey, again, is a person standing up pointing at something, saying, look, reveal, and it stands for the, pointing at it. So if you look at this here, and we're gonna keep the Vav and the Yud, which is a real thing, like that's a hand and that's a nail, but this here is only pointing at something. Now, what is it pointing at? You can ask yourself. You can say, well, it's pointing at the hand. So one thing I find astonishing, even just in the word of God, without having to pronounce it or anything, you just look at what it is and you tell people in Israel, did you know that in Old Hebrew, when the Bible was written, and God chose Hebrew, like we can't argue about that. He didn't choose Chinese or Greek to write the Old Testament and to reveal his name. And if you just write the name in how God wrote it, you write a hand, you write somebody pointing at it, you write a nail, and you write somebody pointing at it. Now, that's not a Christian conspiracy to show that God chose his name to be a hand and a nail that we're pointing at. And now that's not a coincidence that you can argue about. And this is what I think God says. He conceals a thing and he wants us to search it out. I didn't make up that this is really a hand. Yud means hand. Hey means look, and Vav means nail, and Hey means look. So God's name means look at my hand and look at the nail. That is what Yahweh means if you write it how he wrote it. And then once you have time to breathe that in, we'll do one more. Because as we know, God used pictures in the Old Testament and Jesus used pictures in the New Testament. He used also metaphors and stories. So it's the same God, right? The same pictures. And in the Old Testament, we know his name, Yahweh. Now we've seen it. We've seen the word Yahweh written out. You guys know the word that God chose to reveal himself as in the New Testament. We say Jesus. Probably you guys have heard of the Hebrew version of how it's called Yeshua. And Yeshua sounds also like the sounds of the name, but in Hebrew, it also has, again, the pictures of the name. So I'm going to show you how to write it, how to write Yeshua. And again, I'm not going to have to even read it out. I'm just going to have to show you. So the hey that was pointing at something, maybe at the hand, maybe at something in the future, what was it pointing at? It was pointing at this. Ye. This is the letter sh. And then this is still the vav. And then this here was pointing at something else. What was it pointing at? It was pointing at the letter ein. Ah, this is how you write Yeshua. Yeshua. This is how it looks like in modern Hebrew again. But since we know that modern Hebrew confuses us, we're going to unconfuse us and look at what it looked like originally. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, you guys can leave yours open. That's perfect. Like you leave yours open since we've already revealed it, and then we'll look at the new ones. So the modern letter shin, shin means tooth in Hebrew, and it looks like werewolf teeth, I guess. I mean, it's probably easier to write teeth like that, but it means tooth, and it looks like sharp teeth. And then the letter ein is called ein. It means eye. That is, it even sounds like that. Like ein, the letter, is an eye. It's what it's called and it's what it's looked like. So the word Yeshua Now, in Old Hebrew, in Biblical Hebrew, how it's written, it actually is the hand that has been what? Destroyed, because it stands for the teeth. And teeth always stand for making something small. I mean, if you look at what you put in your mouth after your teeth have been done with it, it doesn't look the same anymore. That is why it stands for destroy. The letter shin, when it's used in any word, it usually stands for destroying something. And then the letter ein, when it's used in any word, pretty obviously means eye, and it stands for seeing or knowing. Now that we know that shin means destroy and I means to know or to see, and we look at the same word again, it's the same God, the same hand, but now the hand has been destroyed. His hand was now destroyed and crushed. And the vav, how he was gonna use the nail, has now been seen and revealed on the cross. And again, without even having to explain who Jesus is, if you just write in the unconfused way of what his name was, even in the Old Testament revealed that Yeshua, the salvation, what it means, Yeshua, salvation will come. And now in the New Testament, he says his name is Yeshua. I think it's fantastic that we know. If you guys can get up, Gary, and no, just Gary and you. We had these letters in the Old Testament for Yahweh, right? We had the hand and we had the nail. And the same letters are in the name for Yeshua. It's the same God. But what changed? Instead of unspecific hey that is just pointing at something in the future that hasn't been revealed yet, now it's been revealed. Now you can get up. Now the hand has been shown and destroyed. And now the vav, the nail, has been shown and seen on the cross. But it's the same yud vav, it's the same God, it's the same hand and the nail. And I find it amazing that God told us in the Old Testament with Abraham that he was gonna send the sacrifice that shall provide. And he already knew that it was gonna be his hand that was gonna be sacrificed with the nail. He knew that he was that self-sacrificial, loving God in the Old Testament that put in his name, showing, I will have a nail in my hand. It's me. I'm that God. But then Jesus comes and he says, I'm the one that was destroyed. I'm the one that was revealed. I revealed the Father's love. So Yahweh in the Old Testament, he says, I am the sacrifice. I will give myself for you. That's my name. I love you so much. I know that I will die for you. But then Jesus comes and he says, Yeshua, now I have been destroyed with the teeth that was being pointed at in the future. And now you see how on the cross. It's the same God, but now he's revealed in Yeshua. And the words, the letters, write a picture of that. It tells you the story. It's the same God that Jesus is telling us stories. The God of the Old Testament is telling us the stories in pictures. You can tell a 5-year-old, you can say in Hebrew, like, what's the name of God? Yahweh. How do you write it? Just write me a picture. And then you write, what's Jesus's name? How do you write that? And he's going to write you the gospel story. He's going to write you the salvation story of God, sending us a sacrifice in the future and then making himself that sacrifice. Thank you, guys.
It seems that it's such a beautiful comparison with also the scripture that's coming to my mind now is unless the seed falls to the ground and dies, it cannot bear fruit, it will remain alone. In our walk in ourselves, and we see that God revealed himself, that something had to be destroyed and to be revealed, that he was revealed in that destruction. In our lives as well, unless we die to ourselves and allow our own will to be destroyed, our own desires to be destroyed, he can't be revealed in us.
Yes.
And it's just, I've never seen it. I attended a Messianic church for 8 years before I moved here, and I never saw that until just now. That we, unless we allow our hands, if we don't allow a part of us to be destroyed, or all of us, by his hand, he can't be revealed in us.
Yeah. One last letter I wanted to show you. I kept it a secret. Is one letter that is called Tav. And Tav, it means sign. The word Tav in Hebrew, it means sign. So even in Ezekiel, we know that God's angel was going through Jerusalem, putting signs on his people before he destroyed the city. And it was using the word tav, and tav means sign. And the letter tav is also called tav. It's the same like I've showed you. The letter is called tav, and tav means a sign. Now, what does that letter look like? So in modern Hebrew, this is the letter tav, what it looked like today. And again, I'm going to show you guys what it used to look like before Babylon. This is the letter tav. It's a sign, basically. It's like a cross. Like even today, when you sign somewhere, it says, where should I sign? Here at the sign. And it shows you, like with the cross, that this was most likely the sign that the angel of the Lord put on his people in Jerusalem. A tav, a cross. So thousands of years before Christ, there was a gospel message already in the letters, in the pictures of God. It's a sign and it stands for covenant. That is what it means. And I don't have the time to do all the Hebrew letters for Ivrit. I can just tell you right now that Ivrit, when I show you the letters for it, it also has an I in it. I'm just gonna not do the whole thing, just the green letters to show you guys, just the green letters. And just to show you what it looked like in ancient Hebrew, because that's all we really need to know. We have the Ein for I in Ivrit, for Ein. We have the house for Ivrit. We have the letter Resh. That's just the Hebrew word, which was a head, a person's head. Then we have the letter Yud for I again in Ivrit. There you go. And now because I thought if you're sitting here all this time, we have to give you something to hold. Here. And then we have the letter Tav. Applause for our friend Steve. Thank you, Steve. So this here is what the word Hebrew looked like in ancient Hebrew, Ivrit. And the story of the word, which I'm not going to go into in detail right now, it is this here and this letter together is a word in Hebrew. It means son. Have you heard of bar mitzvah?
Yeah.
This here is be. This here is r for head, rosh. So this and this together means bar, the sun. If you can hold this between you guys. So this is the sun. These two letters are the Hebrew word sun. The yud, as we talked about, it makes it yours. So for you, we're just going to show people that it means my son. My son. To see and reveal. To see my son on the cross. To see my son's sign. To see my son's covenant. My son on the cross revealed. Whatever you want to do with this. But Hebrew, the language Hebrew, just everything we just talked about right now. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, right? If the language is called the cross of my son revealed, or my son revealed his covenant, or anything you want to do with the pictures, it doesn't matter how you translate it. It still is going to be an I that sees the son, that is mine, that is on the cross, that has a sign, that has a covenant. And that's the language Hebrew, Ivrit. Again, God chose this for a purpose. We know he doesn't do anything by mistake. And that's the language he chose. So there's a lot more that I could share with you guys in the future, but I just wanted to share, I think, the most important thing, because he revealed himself in his book, and the very letters of the book speak of him. The very language that he chose reveals him. Thank you for listening and your help. You're hired. Thank you.
You guys can see how incredible the language is.
Oh, it didn't record.